Unlike the other zombified variants, this one will actually start out as aggressive towards the player. And they don't just hate us, they also hate Striders too. Which, I mean, come on, how can you hate those things? And if you let it get too close, when it attacks you, it'll light you on fire. But while it's bad when we catch on fire, it's even worse if you let this thing get next to it. Since for just swimming in lava for 15 seconds, this piglin will get even more powerful. And considering the only unique loot you get for killing this is a couple of netherrack blocks, I'd just as soon keep my distance. And it's not just the undead piglins we have to look out for. Since with the new Piglin Alchemist, we're also gonna have troubles when we go next to a bastion. And while this piglin by itself isn't anything too scary, what's dangerous is when you let it get too close to the other piglins, since this mob has the chance to throw out splash potions to heal them, and also give them a strength buff as well. So if you see one of these in the Bastion Remnant, you should focus it first. Otherwise, it'll be a lot harder to do the rest of your raid. Think of these like the healing crystals in the end. Take them out first. We all know pets can be an important part of the Minecraft experience, but while we can go out of our way to care for these creatures, the game side doesn't offer up much itself. So what if instead of feeding your dog a steak for the 480th time, we could just pet the thing instead? It only takes one look at the Twitter account for Can You Pet the Dog to see that there's plenty of support for features like this. And if it's as well animated as Mr. Crayfish's implementation, I know it'd be a welcome addition. Now, I love the sound of rain, and given how many views there are on ASMR videos, I'm guessing more than a few of you do too. But I also hate looking at rain in Minecraft. Not only does it lower the bitrate of videos, but it also hurts your performance, which overall makes it pretty obtrusive to play with this on. So having a change like this where the rain starts to become semi-transparent to translucent would not only be more realistic, but also a lot more enjoyable to play around with. And the same happening to snow too. And here they also lower the particle count to reduce noise, which I gotta say I also appreciate. I don't want to feel like I'm playing in a static TV. This is a lot more pleasant for my winter wonderland. This is a miner, this is a miner, and this is a miner's ghost. Now, the idea behind these would be to have lost spirits walking around the caves that could help guide the player to treasure and valuable ores. But as cool as that sounds, Mojang considered it before ultimately rejecting the idea for making it into the game. And this might have something to do with the fact that ghosts are considered as banned media in certain territories. Or maybe they just don't want any ties to a certain creepypasta. And speaking of which, Herobrine isn't just a Minecraft myth, he's a Minecraft icon. Dating back to a community-made story on 4chan, Herobrine supposedly leaves around spooky sand pyramids and long, pointless tunnels around your single-player world. And despite what some players try to get you to believe, he doesn't exist and never existed in Minecraft's code. But that doesn't mean that Notch didn't acknowledge it, since in fact, back in the day, Notch did say on Twitter that he planned to add Herobrine to the game soon. Though, this obviously never happened. And the most that we ever got, and likely will ever get, are these official changelogs saying things suggesting that Herobrine was finally removed, even if he wasn't there in the first place. Once you carry up to 16 arrows in your inventory, it'll now look like a quiver. And that's thanks to this revamped archery change, which I already personally love the idea of textures changing when there's enough items stacked on top. I mean, a pile of arrows looks different than just one arrow in your inventory. But then to have that partner with these tiny tweaks that we get to how our bows and crossbows look, I think it winds up really nice. I mean, if anything, I just like the fact that the rocket's finally centered, since the way that it was before in your hotbar, it just looks weird. And having a little bit of gray along the outside of the arrow tip also works nice. I mean, you make them of flint, so it's a nice touch if you ask me. Here's why you should be thankful skeletons use bows and not swords, since these new grave metal skeletons can be incredibly deadly. And what's grave metal? Well, it's a new material that adds an armor defense that's only slightly less than diamonds, which already makes them tough to kill. But that gets even more dangerous considering that they can also use grave metal for their melee weapons. So why even bother with them? Well, if you kill them, they'll have a chance of dropping some part of the grave metal to use. And once we smelt that, we're able to get ourselves an ingot to make our own, which finally gives us an alternative to regular iron farms. You're just gonna have to work for it. After the Village and Pillage update, we got the Buzzy Bees update, but unfortunately, neither of those gave us a beekeeper. So now, thanks to the Charm mod, we fixed that. And finally, we have a special profession carved out for our beekeeping business. Have you ever wanted rats in Minecraft? Yeah, me neither. But after seeing Dr. Rat's mod, I was starting to reconsider. These quick-moving mobs can be a real help when they're tamed, and you'll see as much when you hit a mob. These packs can annihilate a foe. And hey, they'll even grab the items for you. Or you can give them tools and have them do the jobs like farming for you. Oh, and did I mention that they can fly? Because yeah, with an elytra, they'll take to the skies as well. And just like that, now I'm a full advocate for having rats in the game. Dolphins are adorable, but they could be cuter. Or they would be if Mojang didn't have this rule. But for some reason, baby dolphins only exist in the Bedrock version of the game, and there are no plans to add them into Java. Even on Mojang's official list of rejected features, they have baby dolphins listed, with no mention of why that's the case. Though recent updates have seen a lot of steps taken to have parity between Java and Bedrock, so there might still be a future where we have baby